Have you ever felt like nobody understands what you're going through? Imagine feeling that way after losing a parent at a young age. 1 in 20 USA children will lose a parent before the age of 18. And this video is for them. First off, I would like to say, if you're not just clicking on this video for the faint of heart and it's actually something that you're dealing with, I would like to say sorry. I'm sorry this is something that you're going through, that you're dealing with. This is really just me speaking to myself 5 years ago with lessons and things that I would have liked to know when it initially happened and when it was really fresh. So we're going to cover 3 things in this video. First is my experience. It's actually something that personally has happened to me. The second thing I'm going to cover is the truth about grief. What I found helped me in my grieving process, how I got through it, and how you can find the best way to grieve for yourself. And third, becoming wise, not wounded. It might not feel like it now, but you have something that a lot of people don't, and that's resiliency. It affects you that much more because this is not the way that life is supposed to be laid out, but it is your reality. So I lost my dad when I was 15. He passed away to stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, his form of cancer. He actually beat it the first time. He got diagnosed in grade 8 and he beat it. And we had an amazing summer, and then it came back that fall. He passed away a few months later. One pitfall that I fell into was trying to suppress my emotions. It never ended well. When this happens, you're already emotionally unstable and you can go over the edge very easily into a very low low and stay there. And I thought that suppressing it was the answer, and it wasn't, because it always led to me having a breakdown and crying, whether it was at school. It even happened at baseball once. The coach came up to me and he said, "You look like you're about to explode." And then I just broke down. Don't feel bad about crying or feeling the negative emotions. Those are normal, and nothing good comes out of suppressing them. Another one is when I was at school, I was no longer Mitchell. I was the kid whose dad had cancer, or the kid whose dad passed away from cancer, and I kind of leaned into that a little bit, and I don't know if it was the best for me. People handled me with kid gloves. The truth about grief. I wish I could tell you that there was some magic bullet that took care of it all, but there's not. Everybody experiences it differently. There's just so many emotions that come with this, especially when you're young and you don't know exactly how to deal with it. And one thing that I would highly suggest is getting a journal. Writing down those negative emotions or negative thoughts that you're having, and just write down your experience. Write down your favorite memories of them. Look over it with joy and happiness. Try and bring their spirit to life with your words, and choose to remember the good times over the bad. It's so easy to slip into negative pitfalls and habits at this time because you're so fragile mentally and emotionally. You don't know what you're feeling and you don't know how to feel. It is so easy to get stuck in that mind frame and that negativity and just stay there because you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to deal with the emotions that you're having. Try your best not to dig yourself into a very deep dark hole, because it's very easy to get stuck in those negative tendencies and thought patterns and emotions. And just know, if you're in a deep hole, just stop digging and eventually it'll start filling up with water, and all you have to do is tread. All you have to do is just keep your head above water and it will get better. It doesn't seem like it now, but it does. They say it takes 5 years to get over a death like this, and I'm here to tell you that it does get easier, but not in the way you think it would. See, losing someone that close to you, it's not like getting over losing an object that you had and not finding it. It's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life. There's this quote that I really like that sums it up very well. It said, "There's nothing that can take the pain away, but eventually you will learn to live with it. There will be nightmares, and every day that you wake up, it will be the first thing that you think about, until one day it'll be the second." This isn't something that you get over. This isn't something that you move on from. It will always be with you, but you just have to learn to live with it. And you have to learn to not let it control you and have power over you. I know that my dad wouldn't want me to struggle day in and day out with losing him. I know that he would understand for a long time when it messed me up, but he wouldn't want me to let it have the power that it did year 1 on year 10. And that's the process from becoming wounded to wise. The saying, time heals all wounds. When you get that, when you're a month in or a year into what just happened, you're like, thanks, bud, but you don't have a time machine, so you just want me to piss away 5 years? No. I just want you to know that there's light at the end of this very dark tunnel. I just want you to know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to lean on other people. One of the biggest things that helped me along was one of my best friends. When he was going to school at break, every now and then he would pop in and literally just knock on my window. It would be 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon and I would still be in bed, and him doing that would just get me out of bed. He has no idea how much that helped me. And that story shows just how powerful presence can be. So if you know someone that is dealing with a hard loss, don't underestimate the power of presence. Just being there with them, sitting with them. If they're crying, just give them a hug. You don't have to say the perfect thing. You don't have to do the perfect thing. The power of presence is enough. And it goes a long way. It's your way of saying that I'm here with you. I might not understand what you're going through, but I'm here to support you and help you through this tough time. And it goes such a long way. Trust me. And just know that everybody grieves differently. There's no certain way you're supposed to grieve. Just find things that work for you. Find healthy things that work for you. That's more important. Just take it one day at a time. Learn to appreciate the good days. Just understand it's a process and everybody grieves differently. And if your biggest battle is getting out of bed, just try and get your feet on the ground and take it as a win. It's easy to become a victim to it. It's easy to stay stuck in the past and letting that trauma hold you back, because this is a massive mountain that you have to climb, and you're gonna have slips and falls and you're gonna slide back a couple days, but you just need to focus on progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection.
Now, how do you turn wounds into wisdom? Something that's really helped me is choosing to remember the good times over the bad. It's easy to slip into regrets and the negative memories that you have accumulated from what happened, whatever it might be. It's very easy to get stuck in the past, to be gripped by a moment in time. You see it all the time with grown-ups that are 40, 50 that are still stuck in the past because they didn't deal with the trauma that affected them. They may have progressed physically, but they haven't progressed emotionally. Just know you get nothing out of hiding from your trauma. I know it might seem scary to confront it, but it is a lot harder to confront the built-up trauma and years of emotions at 50 than it is right now. However it looks like for you, just don't be afraid to tend to the trauma. It hurts at the start, but it gets better. Not suppressing emotions is great for becoming wise, not wounded. Feeling the emotion to the fullest, not just dipping your toe in, because you get nothing out of just feeling a little spritz of sadness. Jump into it. Get enveloped in it. Let that emotion run through you. Feel it out. And then you will be closer to being healed. That'll be a way of your body tending to that wound. But also, it goes for the opposite. Don't be afraid to be happy. Don't be afraid to be joyous, because it's very easy to forget how to be happy when you're so negative all the time. Just know it's okay to feel emotions. Don't suppress them. Don't get stuck with living in the past, because there is a beautiful life out there for you. And the sooner that you start living, the more life there is out there for you. Become bigger than your trauma. Don't let it envelop you. let it become a part of you in a positive way. Learn from it, take from it, because you have something that others don't. It might not seem like you've gone through something that no one should have to go through at a young age like that. Something that really helped me was, in my journal I write letters to my dad, having a conversation with him, asking him about how the afterlife is, what's death. Don't be afraid to just it might seem silly, but if you're alone, just talking to them, that helps too. It might seem silly, but it does. Another thing is understanding emotions. Try and, like, in your journal, writing down what you feel, why you feel that way. Examine it. Examine emotional responses and see why you feel the way you feel, and that will help you. One thing that I wish I was told more is that you're doing all right. Okay, you're doing just fine. You can't compare yourself to other people at this point. You're doing just fine. But don't be okay with staying where you are, because there's so much life out there for you, and there are amazing things out there for you, and you can overcome this. But just know you're doing all right. Just build small wins. Don't underestimate the power of building small wins and positive thinking. Keep growing. Keep evolving. Keep tending to your wounds. Progress, not perfection. The sooner that you start living, the more life there is out there for you. And don't be afraid to feel emotions. Become wise, not wounded. I'm sorry that this is something that you have to deal with. I'm sorry that this happened to you. I wish there was a silver bullet, but there's not. There's really not. So just take it one day at a time. One foot in front of the other, and you'll be okay. I'm sorry you had to watch this video.